Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable my lecturers and also my beloved friends. Today we are from group 2. We are going to present about literature in EFL classroom course with the topic literature for all and literature across curriculum for character building. Me, Rana Taneta Putri, as a moderator and also as the presenter, and also my friends. There are Karwandi S.Pd Gr, Mariadi S.Pd, Masayu Lely Mutmainnah S.Pd, Putri Erwani S.Pd, and also Yenni Anggraini SLE. Uh, Next slide, please. Uh, Here is the highlight of presentation today. The first is literature. The second is character building based curriculum 2013. The third is the use of literature for character building. The fourth is problem based learning. And then the last is the use of problem based learning in literature classroom. Well, before we start our discussion today, let's say basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, the first material about literature will be presented by Yenni Anggraini. For Yenni, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Rana. Can you hear my voice? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Move to the next slide, please. Okay. For the first, I'm gonna talking about what is literature. Literature is any collection of written work that refers to works of the creative imagination. Actually, literature not only about the collection of written work, but it is also used more narrowly for writings, specifically considered to be an art form. Literary means not only what is written, but what is voiced, what is expressed, what is invented in whatever form. So, literature is used to distinct from creative writing to more technical or scientific work, but the term is most commonly used to refer to works of the creative imagination, poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction. Next slide, please. Okay. Actually, literature is also divided into three types. There are prose, poem, and drama. Prose is a form of literary art that is described through the use of language that is free, and it is not bound by rhythm, poetry, diction, solidity, or other literary rules and guidelines. The form of prose itself has two types, namely novel and also romance. Romance is included in a story that tells the character in whole way from birth to the end of his life, and while the novel only tells a part of the character's life that changes his destiny. Also, a short story is also part of the prose. Short story tells about a small part of an interesting and important of factor's life. And the second type is poetry. It is a type of literary work that can be described with a choice of diction or words, and it has been characterized by intense but beautiful discussion. Usually, poetry can encourage a person's tendency to increase in awareness by means of language that has a special rhythm and meaning. And the last one is drama. It is a form in literature that is described in free and long language, and it is presented in a dialogue or monologue. Drama is divided into four types, such as comedy, that is a story that contains humor and jokes that can entertain the audience. And then opera or musical. It is a drama accompanied by music to complement the art performance. And the third one is tragedy comedy. It is a short that it is a story that alternates between difficulty and humor. And the last one is tragedy. It is a story that already contains difficulties for the characters. Next slide, please. Okay, and then the importance of the presence of literature in the learning. Here there are 6 importance. For the first one is supporting the need for democracy, and the second one is diverting literary imagination and behaviors, attitudes, emotions, and social values and personal size. And then presenting possibilities and differences in outlook on life, the pattern of relationships and philosophy, and then facilitating in the selection of different imaginations through literature experience. And the fifth one is allowing the reader see his own personality and his problems objectively and solve it better due to the literary experience. And the last one is contributing reality to the adult system of different values so that they are free from fear, guilty, and uncertainty. Okay, I think that's all of my part. Come to moderator. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Yenni. And then the next material about character building based curriculum 2013 will be presented by Ibu Masayu Lely. For Ibu Masayu Lely, time is yours. Pardon, Ibu Lely, can you unmute your microphone?
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will continue. Okay, I will continue our materials about the character building based curriculum 2013. Curriculum 2013 regulate the role of literatures in the teaching and learning process so that students can increase language knowledge through literatures and they can relate it literature to their real life. The next slide, please. Okay. Character Building Based Curriculum 2013, Undang-Undang Number 20 Sisdiknas 2003 about the purpose of national education claims developing learners' potential to be humans who have strong faith to God, novel characters, health, erudition, capability, creativeness, autonomy, democracy, and responsibility. Based on the purpose of national education above, it's understood that the new curriculum 2013 emphasize on knowledge, skill, and attitude equally. The next slide. Okay. Uh, According to Debdikbud, characters are innate, heart, soul, personality, manner, behavior, natures, temperament, characters, and others mention characters as subjective judgment of moral and mental qualities. According to Megawangi 2003, character qualities include 9 pillars, namely, first, love God and all of his creations. Second, responsibility, discipline, and self-reliance. The third, honesty. The fourth, respect and sympathy. The fifth, generous, helpful, and cooperative. The sixth, confidence, creative, and hardworking. Seven, leadership, justice. The eighth, God and humble. And the last, tolerance, love of peace and unity. The next slide. Literatures and characters educations. The curriculum mentions that the purpose of learning literatures is to enjoy and utilize literary work to broaden the horizons, refine the characters, and improve the knowledge and language skill. According to Harvanda 2008.131, literature has great potential to bring society toward change. including character change as for the literary benefit of the reader. It's concerned with the value contained in it, that the reader is better able to translate the problems in life through the God to the good of the body and the spiritual good. The next slide. Okay, based on the Big Indonesian Dictionary 2008.623 explained that the character is a trait or characteristic of psychology, morality, or character that distinguishes someone from others. Nature's characters. Characters is the value of human behavior associated with God Almighty, self, fellow human, environments, and nationality embodied in thought, attitudes, feelings, words, and deeds based on religions, norms, law, etiquette, culture, and custom. The next slide. Okay. Uh, My last part is about educators express value in Indonesian language and literature subject with the direct integrations of character value that are an integral part of the subject. Okay, subject here, the material, the material that always used to teach the students like oral story, short story, poetry, novel, drama, pantun, and song. This is kinds of the literature subject that we can use this subject for teaching the students. Okay, that's all our part. The next part will continue by another presenter. Okay, Rana?
Yes, sorry. Thank you very much for Ibu Lely. And then the third material about the use of literature for character building will be presented by Putri Erwani. For Putri, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for Taneta Putri as the moderator. I will continue the material about the use of literature for character building. Next part, please. Next slide, please. Okay, here. Literary works are able to express the complexity and sophistication of human nature in reality of life. A novel, romances, short stories, and epic stories are practically incapable of displaying figures with an enchanting character. Through literary works, students can do feeling if the mind and exercise intensively so that students indirectly have positive behavior and habits through the process of appreciation and creative through literary works. Various efforts that can be done by educators through the literary learning include character education in delivery through the poetry, songs, short stories, novels, dramas, and folklore in general will change our nation's character to a better one. And a literature teacher can give the students the practice they need to become conscious of various experience that provides with an occasion for focus more moral reflection and dialogue. Examine what informs the moral compass guiding fictional lives. Then literature teacher help students to become more adept at ethical reflection and hope the practice students to experience the desires, conflicts, trials, and triumphs of character. Here, the students learn how students sort out the conflict, desires, and learn to make their actions consistent with their ideals. Literature also gives the students privileged insight into the moral journey of their life. Next slide, please. Okay, to To build the character through storytelling. One way to build positive characters in fun way for the students is through storytelling. Students can overcome the problem by identifying themselves with the characters of the story. Storytelling can be a very effective method of delivering moral message for the students. There are some objectives of building characters through storytelling. The first one is embed hidden characters in students' minds. The hidden figure expected to provide strength, direction, and guidance on the behavior of the everyday of the students. The second one is improving children's exploration capabilities through searching for other examples character in story of students' everyday life. Here, students is embedded duplication the character. Then students will try to find out other similar characters around the students. The third one is building analytical skills and problem-solving skills related to character behavior. At this stage, when the students find a case when they need applying the character is helpful. So the students or they can make it happen. The third is improve the ability of students to implement the concept of inner characters everyday life. Here, students are expected to show real concepts and action characters in students' everyday life. And in the last is building analytical skills and evaluating the benefits of character and impact behavior negative characteristics behavior. At this stage, if the students face problem, for example, the student see a friend who doesn't want to help, then the student itself or he can take a stand to giving help. I think that's all my part. Back to moderator.
Well, thank you very much, Putri, for your presentation. Can you hear my voice clearly, guys?
Yes.
Because here is raining. Well, the next material about problem-based learning. It will present by myself. Next slide, please. So, what is problem-based learning? Problem-based learning is a learning model with a student learning approach to authentic problems, so that students can develop their own knowledge, develop higher skills and inquisitions, establish students, and also increase their own confidence. This model characterizes the use of real-life problems as something students must learn to train and also improve their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And they gain knowledge of important concepts where the teacher's job should be focused on helping students achieve self-directing skills. And problem-based learning is used in higher levels of thinking in problem-oriented situation, including how to learn. And then in problem-based learning, the attention of learning is not only on the acquisitions of knowledge, but also the acquisition of procedural knowledge. Therefore, the assessment is not only enough with the test. The assessment and evaluation in accordance with the problem-based learning model is to assess the work produced by students as the result of their work and discuss the result of the work together. Next slide, please. Okay, there are 5 problem-based learning steps. The first is orientation to the problem, and then the second is learning organization. The third is individual and group research. The fourth is development and presentation of problem solving result. And then the last is analysis and evaluation of the problem solving process. Let we discuss with the first step is orientation to the problem. This step is identify a problem relevant to the curriculum. The focus is on the complex real world situation that do not have one right answer. Uh, Next is learning organization. Uh, in this in this step, learning organization organize students to learn. Teachers help students define and organize learning tasks related to the problem. And for the third, individual and group research. Uh, in this step, guide individual and group investigation. Teachers encourage students to deduce appropriate information, carry out experiments to obtain explanation and problem solving. While the fourth is development and presentation of problem solving results. For the fourth step is to develop and present the work. Teachers help the students plan and prepare appropriate work such as report, videos, and models, which can help with tasks with their themes. And then the last is analysis and evaluation of the problem solving process. Uh, for this for these for these steps is to analyze and evaluate the troubleshooting process. Here, teachers help students reflect or evaluate their investigations and process. In conclusion, learning activities through problem-based learning begin with students' activities to solve real problems that they are determined or agreed upon. The process of solving the problem has implication for the formation of student skills in solving problems and also their critical thinking, and at the same time it is forming new knowledge. I think that's for my explanation. The next material The next material is about the use of problem-based learning in literature classroom. Will be presented by Mariadi. For Mariadi, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator. How about my voice? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
So
Okay.
let me continue. Previously, we presented the problem-based learning and its steps. Now we are going to present the use of problem-based learning in literature classroom. In this part of presentations, we would like to give you some information about teaching literature by using problem-based learning model. There are many literary works that can be used as the media of learning, and one of them is a short story. We had an idea to use a short story as the media of learning because it is commonly applied in curriculum 2013, and also it is provided moral lessons as it is related to our materials of presentations, which is character building. So in this presentation, we decide to use The Bucket Rider, a short story by Franz Kafka, that we got from www.nytimes.com. The reason why we choose this short story is that this story has something to do with with the real life issue or phenomenon that happens in our society now. For further informations, let's take a look at the implementations of the Bucket Rider story by using problem-based learning model. First, orientations to the problems. So in these steps, there are 4 phases that teachers and also students should do. First, teachers presents a phenomenon in form of text and pictures of the bucket rider that contains problems. In this phase, the bucket rider presents a phenomenon of major problems facing humanity nowadays, or we can say lack of humanity, or especially kindness. And it has something to do with the character or moral. And the second, students identify the presented phenomenon in order to find problems from the phenomenon. Yes, when the students already got the pictures or the text of the bucket rider, they can read at glance and identify the presented phenomenons, which is a lack of humanity, especially kindness. And then these kinds of phenomenon can be used as the problems, because this problem always happens in the real life situations. And the third is about students clarify the problems found. Yes, after they already find the problems, they need to clarify the problems with the teachers in order to be discussed later on. And the last, students identify problems and conduct brainstorming with their teachers. The use of brainstorming is really crucial in order to create problem solving activities, because it allows students to think freely or practice of creating ideas, and also putting the ideas down or in a work, such as presentations, discussions, or any other work. And the second step is learning organizations. In these steps, there are two phases that teacher and also students have to do. The first, students collect data or informations related to problem solving from various sources. Yes, exactly. Teachers ask students to gather data or informations as much as they can from any sources, such as a website, or it could be social media, or even authentic sources, for example, like newspaper, magazine, and so on. And then the informations can be also consist of the characters of the bucket rider, and also the characterizations, either protagonist or antagonist, and also the setting, okay, and then the issue of the story, or even the problems or the phenomenon's issue, which is a lack of humanity, as mentioned in the previous slides. So the students have to collect data or information related about that. And the next page, students independently process the data or information collections to be used as solutions in solving problems. Yes, exactly, they must work independently, because in curriculum 2013, students are required to work independently, either individually or even in the group. And then the data or information they got in order to find solutions to the problem. And we come to the next step is about individual and group research. So in this step, students and teachers also have something to do with some procedures, such as first, students work together in groups to clarify information or data related to existing problems and find solutions. Yes, teachers divide the group and also the members for each group. Then ask, okay, students to work together in work to clarify and also discuss together about the informations they got or they already gathered, and therefore students formulate and establish solutions together, so they can solve uh, the problems, especially problems appear in the bucket rider story, and also problems related to the real life situations. After formulate and establish solutions together, so students can compile reports on the result of the problem solving discussions in order they can move to the next steps of problem based learning model. So I think that's all. Thank you very much. Back to the moderator.
Well, thank you very much for Mariadi. And then the last material will be presented by Pak Karwandi. For Pak Karwandi, time is yours.
Okay. Could you hear my voice, moderator?
Yes, Pak.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the chance. The Honorable, our lecturers, and also my friends. Let me continue our presentations by telling you the steps of problem-based learning. So here I'm going to tell you about the fourth step of problem-based learning. Here we have develop and present the work. So here I have 3 points to be discussed. The first, the teacher guides the students to prepare the report or presentation related to the bucket rather short story. So here in this space, the teacher makes sure for the presenters, all the students prepare everything for their presentation or their report if it is discussion. So the teacher can fit the students individually or grouply. So the teacher will make sure the presentation is complete. So the information that shared by the students will be informative. And then the second phase is the student present their work in front of the class. So it can be done individually or group presentation. Individually, it means that one student can be representative their group to present the material, or all the group, all the members of the group can present their material in front of the class. So the material can be divided based on the total number of the students in a group. And then the next is about the other group or students give questions to the presenters. Of course, after all the presenters have presented their materials, the audience for other groups can give the presenter questions, and then it will be directly answered by the presenters. So we can see here that the audience or other groups have pay attention. Okay, would you like to go to the next slide, please? Next slide, please. uh, Mariadi, would you like to go to the next slide, please? Yeah. On my screen, still the step number 4. Would you like to go to? Okay, thank you. Okay, now we are going to the last step of problem-based learning. It is analyze and evaluate the process of problem solving. So here I also have 3 points to be discussed. The first, the teacher invites the students to define the problem of presentations. Of course, after all the presenters presented their materials, there will be something problem. It can be from the material itself, or it can be from the way they present their presentation. So here, the teacher motivate the students, invite the students to give opinion. What is the weaknesses of their presentation? And then beside that, the second one is about the teachers give comments to the presenters. So here, for the groups who have given the best performance, so the teachers can give compliment to the groups. But for the group who didn't do it well, so the teachers can give motivation to the presenters. In other, they can do it better for the next time. And then the last step of problem-based learning is teacher and students find the conclusion together. So after the presentation finish, and then the student and also the teacher giving suggestions, comment, and feedback. So at the end of the meeting, so the teachers invite the students to speak up, to say what they have learned. For example, the material based on the all and literature across curriculum, and also it is for character building. So what kind of characters that can be found from the short story of Bucket Rider, and then they can also relate to the character building that stated in curriculum 2013. Okay, the next slide for conclusion, please. Mariadi, would like to move to the next slide? On my screen, still step number 5. Would you like to move
It's
to the
already
conclusion?
It is already moved to
Uh,
the conclusion, Pak.
Next slide, conclusion.
Yes, already appear.
On my screen, still okay, still step number 5.
Appear,
Mariadi,
Pak. Appear.
can you hear me? Yeah,
already
on my
appear,
screen.
Pak.
On my screen, still step number 5. Not running.
Already, Pak. Already.
Would you like to do move next slide, please?
Already appear, Pak.
Your connection, Pak.
Conclusion.
It's already appear.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. So here the conclusion that from our presentation today about literature for all and literature across curriculum for character building, we can take some conclusions. First, characters building can be formed or gained through literature. In addition, problem-based learning, okay, okay, uh, problem-based learning helps the students to learn literature and characters building because by doing method of teaching, it can create the students to have critical thinking, collaboration, and also communication. And also, it is related to 21st century learning. Okay, I think that's all that I can share.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Karwandi. Thank you very much to all presenters who have presented informative materials. Also, thank you to the audience for watching our presentation today. And now we should end our presentation. Please contact us through our emails if you have questions, comment, suggestions, or any information related to our presentation today. And the last but not least, let's say hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. And I close with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.